Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WCS America. You're watching the Challenger League. I'm Axeltoss, joined by Axslav. Group G.
TaeJa's tearing up this group, man.
Group TaeJa.
It's Group TaeJa, and who else is what's looking like? I mean, Hello Kitty, he kind of dismantled 2-0, and that first game against Neeb, I mean, Neeb just looked like he was out of his depth there. TaeJa is a guy that you cannot take lightly, man.
You know, the beginning of that looked pretty okay for Neeb as far as dealing with the Widowmine stuff to a certain extent. The Marines did get a lot of kills, but it could have been worse. I think we could agree. Like,
it could always be worse.
Sure, they had even harvesters. They both had 2 orbitals, but
yes.
Neeb's was already had his natural, right? And he already had 2 turrets in place. But then as the game went along, TaeJa was just absolutely relentless with all his harassment stuff.
Banshees.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Imagine someone has a spoon and he just hits you with it every day. Imagine that, because I define that as harassment.
Yes.
You fall apart. You fall apart.
And the thing is, in real life, what you can do is you can snatch a spoon out of their hand. But every time Neeb tried to shoot those Banshees down, they just suck. It's like a guy who's too fast for you, right?
Yes.
He's just too fast.
Yes.
Every time he tries to stop the harassment, it just ducks out of the way, and then when he turns the other way, it smacks him again.
TaeJa's so good. Very good. So we're going to have to see what happens here. TaeJa up 1-0 in this best of 3. If he wins one more, he's into WCS America Premier League Season 2. To join the... Let's see. I think there's about 24 already qualified. Do the math later. But in the top left-hand location, I present to you the Blue Terran player who must win 2 in a row here, or he'll drop down to the last match of the night. From Team FXO North America, he is Neeb. His opponent in the top right-hand location of Whirlwind, your Red Terran player who's 1 win away from advancing to Premier League Season 2. He is TaeJa. Team Liquid.
Gas first for TaeJa.
Liquid first. Oh, okay, gas first. You're right. I got my elements mixed up.
Gas to liquid to solid.
Yes.
And, order of density, with the exception of water, and that density is a little bit different.
Yeah.
The
Did you know you can turn liquid into a solid at home?
Yes.
Yes.
This is called your freezer.
Right. You can put water in like a tray or something, and then if you put it in the freezer, it'll turn into solid ice.
It's magic.
You can do a science experiment at home. You guys go try that at home. You see, who said you didn't learn anything watching WCS America today? Right?
Useful stuff. Useful stuff.
And you can like use that to like cool your drinks and stuff. Fascinating. All right. The question is, will TaeJa turn Neeb into a solid and take this win? I don't know if that works. Does that work, Nick? Or?
Well, he's going to be aggressive, similar to the first game. I don't recall if he went gas first the first game, but he did do, one base heavy pressure with tech. He's again doing that. I mean, going straight to the factory. Neeb, on the other hand, looking like he wants to get a command center fairly quickly.
I have a lot of respect for Neeb. Going for the fast command centers.
And, this game he scouted exactly what TaeJa's doing. SCV, I mean, not exactly what he's attacking, but he scouted the fact that he went gas first, just given the fact that the factory timing tells you it's gas first, and he's teching very fast. Mm-hmm. So he should be prepared for whatever TaeJa throws at him. There's a limited number of options. He's going to get the command center at the natural, which I like. As long as he knows there's no super early rush, which there obviously isn't if your opponent's teching, no reason not to.
Yep. And, of course, positions are important to note here. Now, if you put a turret in your natural as Neeb, it kind of protects your main to a certain extent because a medevac will have to go in that general direct, or medevac or banshee will have to go through your natural to your main. So that's kind of important to consider as this game goes forward, because it is going to be a situation where TaeJa is going to be mildly aggressive, actually fairly aggressive is probably the best way to describe it in the beginning stages. So it's going to be up to Neeb to make sure he doesn't lose too much.
You know what's interesting? If Neeb, I want to see if he's going to scan to identify what type of tech TaeJa is doing. TaeJa is rushing to the fastest Cloak Banshee possible, is his build.
He is.
Gas first, straight to Cloak Banshee. And if Neeb can identify this, he can realize that TaeJa's going to have almost no units besides the Banshee, so he could actually go overboard in turrets. One thing, last game, even though he had 1 turret in each mineral line, he still took so much damage from the Cloak Banshees, and it's because TaeJa controls him amazingly.
Still no engineering bay battle.
Yeah. I mean, there's room to start. If he starts it now, he'd be fine. Or even if he starts in like 10 seconds, he'll probably be okay. But if he can put like an extra turret guarding his production and try and prevent the mobility of Banshees between the two bases, that can be a huge way to really help out. Like right where his factory is, right out like on the top of the ramp to the main, a turret there actually helps so much against the Click Banshee Harass. In fact, there's the eBay. It's about halfway done.
All right.
TaeJa's expanded behind us, and the thing is, TaeJa has so few units.
Yeah. When
that
he's teching super fast and going straight into that command center, which means you're not investing a lot in production facilities, you're not investing a lot in actual units.
But the Banshees are going to give him map control because, of course, they have cloak. There's limited number of scans. Of course, missile turrets can detect on a defensive angle, but any unit Neeb sends out across the map is going to be vulnerable to those Banshees.
So essentially giving him time, unless there's like a drop or something.
Exactly.
Right, because medevacs cannot be shot by Banshees, and Hellbat drops can really make anything happen. First Banshee coming.
Oh, turret gets up in perfect time to deflect that. He's going to have to utilize Cloak very early on to get around the bunker without being shot. Now it's looking to see what damage it can do on the production. Oh, the other side of the turret going to get a couple kills there.
Oh, SCVs.
As long as he pulls the SCV, yeah, very good control there. He's
So
going to scan it. He
has to get it. Oh, he gets it. Great scan there from Neeb.
Oh, and look at this. He's building that third turret I talked about on his production.
Yes.
In this area right here. And once you have, it controls the mobility because otherwise the Banshees can't be production. They can find angles like we saw how it tried to hook around and attack from the inside the base towards SCVs. That one turret stops the Banshees from getting to those positions. So Neeb has a stellar defense here.
Now where's this Viking? The Viking should be following the Banshee, or at least trying to find it. Oh, those TaeJas would have went.
Oh, no, those are
Oh, wow.
Taking out a scout from TaeJa. Banshee's coming in, but the turret deflects it. Such a key turret there. Marines are going to help out as well. Scan goes down.
Oh, Neeb gets him. Okay, unit slash. Tell a story. 3-3. Wait, if it's 3-3, why are the resources different, Nick?
Banshees are expensive, man.
Oh, good point.
Compared to probably SCVs or Marines, some ratio between the two.
Sure. I think all SCVs.
All SCVs? Yeah.
If I hit control R. Oh, 2 workers goes, so yeah.
Okay. One Marine, 2 SCVs.
Yep.
TaeJa's actually moving out here to attack, which is, it could... Oh, there's the Widow Mines could tear him apart. There's Hellions, too.
Oh, Banshee there.
I don't know if TaeJa can break this.
I think there's a bunker. Yeah, there's a bunker up there, too. There's a scan. Oh!
Oh, couldn't get the Vikings finish it off.
The Vikings have to get a shot up.
No, it gets out of the scan
Vikings,
range.
be careful. Vikings, be careful.
But now they see the attack coming. As long as... another scan is going to take out the Banshee.
We don't mind. It's on cooldown.
On cooldown. And TaeJa knows this. He's not going to waste a scan right now.
He's like counting in his mind. Okay, there's the scan. SCV's coming. Neeb just wants to clean this up. Vikings actually going to land in flank. How often do you see that? The Hellbat's charging forward as well. Can Neeb clean this up? The Marines targeting down those Vikings. The Hellbat marching forward, though.
The Hellbat just doesn't die.
No.
He just doesn't care.
He was targeted down, too. How much HP?
Oh, and
9 HP.
Yeah, a great game so far by Neeb.
Yeah.
These Widow Mines, I love how he actually put a Widow Mine in front of TaeJa's base there.
Oh,
and if we see, there's a very hurt tank, I think TaeJa's retreating that was going to rally in.
That guy, no, that's...
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there.
So the Widow Mines just helped out so much as far as being aware of what TaeJa is up to and getting appropriate defense. So the one thing is Neeb did lose a few SCVs there. So economically speaking, it's not like he's really ahead of TaeJa here. And his Banshee's being a little bit annoying here.
Yeah.
Vikings had to come in and push that back.
Oh,
yeah.
the
turret's there. It's found one spot we're going to hang out, but yeah, one scan is going to go down. Oh, a little counterattack by Neeb here.
Okay, yeah, attacking his opponent's main base. There's a drop. Hellbats trying to roasty toast those Marines.
It's hard to tell who lost more there. Apparently he lost a medevac, because I don't see that. So, but not bad. So Neeb is, TaeJa has a third base. Neeb's starting, he has his own third already done.
Is that?
Yeah, he's going mech.
Oh.
Mech versus Bio here. A very even game, I think.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Looks like there's another Hellbat drop coming in here. There's almost
the
nothing that can shoot air. There's no turret either.
That's actually really important. You got to be able to kill these
splash.
The splash damage on the SCVs, that can do a ridiculous amount of damage. And he's going to pick up, get out of there.
What is he getting?
Dropping it again.
How many did he get? 5. Which isn't bad for the two.
Income is 43 to 42, so still relatively similar.
And both players are on 3. Actually, TaeJa's third orbital isn't quite done yet.
And Neeb's is already at his third base.
Exactly. So Neeb is looking very strong this game. Of course, still very even. Both players with production. In fact, actually, Neeb might have a production advantage as well. 3 factories to 3 barracks.
Yeah.
TaeJa just now adding even more.
And he has 5 Hellbats.
He has map control too. You know what's cool? Look at his vision. We can see there he's got all these Marines stationed to keep an eye on a third of TaeJa. They're also going to catch drops. He has something at the top
Wow.
It's just another Marine there at the top. Marines everywhere, just beautiful. I mean, the thing is, he's going mech, so his Marines don't have stim, combat shield, or upgrades.
They're worthless.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that, because you might hurt their feelings.
Well, they're good for reconnaissance.
Sure.
But yeah, in the battle, they would do almost nothing. Of course, he had to get him early so he could, not die and deal with the Banshees and stuff. Ooh, double Hellbats.
There were 2 Vikings there before. Now there's only 1.
And it's going to spot... looks like the Vikings are spread out a bit. It's going to spot
the Vikings
drop.
see it right now?
No, just barely out of vision.
There he goes. Sprinting into his opponent's main base. Let's see where he drops. Going to go straight for that mineral line, heading right to it. And he's going to drop, trying to get closer. The Hellbat's actually going to be caught by those Marines and Marauders, but he's just going to directly engage those. TaeJa trying to kite away from those Hellbats, now switching the target fire to those SCVs. Going to pick up once again and get a...
If he can just escape with both the Medivacs, I think he'll be okay, but he's got to get out of here. Oh, no, there's a turret there.
Oh, going to drop the Hellbat, trying to get what damage he can get done, but TaeJa, great defense there.
Yeah, for losing the 2 Medivacs is pretty big there. Hellbats are easily replaceable, but Medivacs cost gas, and gas is always a very valuable resource when you go in mech. You want to spend it on upgrades, when you get tanks, when you get Vikings. So, a great defense there by TaeJa. Now, both players moving out, taking their third bases. Neeb, though, with the 4th command switch at bottom left. Very smart play.
I like it.
Sneak that in there.
2 tanks to 2. 6 Hellbats on the field here from Neeb.
TaeJa's got a significant force moving out here. A lot of Marauders in that composition as well, which is very smart against a Hellbat heavy opponent. Neeb maybe... Oh, TaeJa scans. Sees there's nothing in siege mode. Oh, but Neeb's gonna... Yeah, he can't. Once there's siege.
That's a solid position, too.
4 tanks. There's no way he can break that.
Oh, he has air control, too, with the 4 Vikings.
Is TaeJa actually gonna...
Oh, my God. Tank's doing a lot
going in here?
He's going for Marines Marauder, stimming for TaeJa wants to take it right now, but I think Neeb might have too much. He has so many tanks. Look at the supply. 116 to 96 in favor of Neeb. He's going to demolish this push from TaeJa.
He only lost a single one of his siege tanks.
That's the important unit here.
Yeah, I mean,
everything
he lost
like
1 siege tank, 1 Viking. And actually, meanwhile, counter at the 3rd, it looks like there's some blueness over here.
Yeah, Hellbats.
Oh!
No, the SCVs. Oh, God.
Those Hellbats, how many kills did they get? From 5 to, like, maybe make 8 kills. Like,
wow.
8 or 9 more workers killed there by Neeb.
Neeb is everywhere.
Neeb now with an advantage in this game.
He's up 71 to 52 in Harvesters. He just demolished that push from TaeJa. TaeJa, on 3 bases, doesn't know about the base in the bottom left.
TaeJa has got to be feeling a little bit crimped here. He's actually adding 2 starports, so he might do an air transition, but currently Neeb has that air control.
Yeah, the Vikings, 5 of them overhead, and TaeJa realizing how important, having air control is.
And TaeJa's actually upgrading air weapons, so he wants to do a full Sky Terran switch, which I think is pretty smart. I mean, there's weaknesses to it. Of course, he can't produce the same Bioforce because he's getting those starports, but if he can catch Neeb off guard with it, Hellbats and tanks both don't shoot air.
TaeJa going to try to swing around towards his 3rd base. The tank's getting set up, sieging up, taking shots at the Marines and Marauders, and the Vikings taking care of the Medivacs. Neeb doing a great job identifying exactly where his opponent is.
The sensor towers.
Yeah, if there's a way to fall apart in TBT, it's misidentifying your opponent, right? Like they're going in a certain direction, you're not expecting it. Neeb doing a great job pointing down the sensor towers, scanning, identifying where his opponent is, and placing his units properly to defend against attacks from different directions.
Now, the one thing Neeb has to do is he needs to identify the air transition. Right now, everything's going nicely for him.
Can we get a shot of the vision of Neeb on the main base of TaeJa? Let's see what he's seeing.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, just the one from the start, of course. Yeah. And so this is a situation where if he can identify it, he could try to push out and attack, although a base race could be risky. Or just add in some Thors. Thors are obviously going to be great if he can identify that, there's airplay. At least until there's a whole ton of battle cruisers, Thors are going to do very well.
TaeJa scouting.
TaeJa still doesn't know about the bottom left, and that's a lot of extra gas income. And it's a location to drop mules, which is very important because then his other bases don't mine out as fast. Not a place where you're going to put a lot of SCVs because if it's spotted, SCVs would die. So just can use it for mules and for gas mining.
I'm getting a little bit nervous for Neeb because there's 2 battle cruisers on the way.
He's got his medevac. Oh, no, but the medevac's going to die. I was saying this might scout for him. Oh, no. Not paying attention there.
Yeah. He needs to scout this.
Maybe he'll get suspicious because TaeJa hasn't been being aggressive.
Yeah. Scans, you got to look out for these scans. Every scan is so important. Go on.
I mean, and he doesn't see a large bioforce, so maybe he's suspicious. He's moving up for an attack now, and this attack at the very least will force TaeJa to show his hand. But he's got to be careful for TaeJa. A counterattack from TaeJa could be devastating.
Oh, it absolutely could. Needs to make sure to keep some units back home.
Well, what is TaeJa going to counterattack the 3rd? But the center tower sees it, so what's TaeJa
I
gonna
think
do?
he has some tanks up there, doesn't he? Yeah, he has plenty of tanks there to defend. He's
Oh no, the Vikings! Those are so important because TaeJa's switching air.
Oh no, the Marines targeting him down. TaeJa with a great move, and now, okay, now he's gonna know.
All the tanks are on siege, but there's just enough that it doesn't matter.
But Banshees.
The Banshees are going to take out this force, but if he can do enough damage.
Starport's immediately added on here from Neeb, identifying what's going on.
He's not getting that much damage done. And
okay.
the problem is now he has to rebuild the ground force as well as get anti-air. Although the Hellbats aren't doing too bad. They're going to kill some of these Marines here.
What a perfect transition for TaeJa. Okay, yeah, killing a lot of Marines, but what's to stop TaeJa from just going across the map?
The rally. But the problem is actually Neeb has been able to, he somehow has a lot of supplies, so his production is very high now. Let's see, what does he have to defend us? He's on 5 bases as well. It's important to note that 5 bases versus 3, so a big economic advantage for Neeb. Looks like he has a lot of tanks on the ground.
If Neeb can hold off this attack, he's going to be immaculate in this game. But TaeJa has so many units here, 2 units that his opponent can't necessarily deal with. All these Vikings, 2 battlecruisers, 2 Banshees, what deals with that?
Oh, the missile turret. The Banshee's got to be careful. They walk into the missile turret.
Wow, missile turret's really important. Great
He's
move there.
forcing Neeb to walk through the battlecruisers because he's actually, if he can get into production of Neeb, the Thor gets taken up by the Marines. That's his anti-air. He can't afford to lose those guys.
And taking out the turrets as well. This might be the only way TaeJa can win a game like this. When he's on 3 bases, his opponent's on 5. But I don't see how Neeb can deal with this.
He's got to somehow clear up the ground and rally enough anti-air to deal with it. He is doing a mass hellback counter to the 3rd of TaeJa.
Okay.
He's dropping mules on TaeJa's army. Was that... I'm trying to think. Or no, does TaeJa's mules? Or does...
He's trying to repair...
Oh, repair his battlecruisers.
Wow.
Okay. You know, Neeb...
That ended swiftly.
It did.
I'm actually going to go back to the game and look at...
You know what was crazy about that? Neeb's counterattack, TaeJa had no economy. His third was wrecked by that hellback counter. So if he could have just... You know what actually almost ended it? The Banshees came in, and Neeb had 2 choices. One is to sit there when TaeJa was going for the last push. His tanks could sit there and get hit by the Banshees, and he could slowly lose all his tanks, or maybe not so slowly, until his Thor came out.
Yeah.
Which would have been about 15 seconds. How many tanks would die in 15 seconds? 3, 4? Who knows? And that would have been bad. And his other option was to retreat to missile turrets.
Yes.
Which he did. But then that exposed the path to the main. And I think that was probably the wrong choice. I mean, in the heat of the moment, you're like, I gotta protect the tanks. But if he sat there, sieged the tanks up, and just lost 3, 4 of them,
yeah.
Then once the Thor rallies in there, the Thor with mass repair could at least hold off the Ravens.
And when you're on 5 bases, that's all you need, right? Just hold off. And again, he was demolishing his opponent's mineral line at the 3rd.
Yeah, that was a winnable game.
Where most CSCVs were.
Definitely a winnable game. And imagine if he just scouted the air earlier. And so when he moved out with that attack, he wouldn't have attacked. He would have just waited for like 2 Thors.
Yeah.
Then moved out. Meanwhile, he would have had like 5 starports behind us, so he could have repopped there. I mean, this attack is just trading so poorly. He's so far ahead in
He knows
economy.
all these units are going to die.
Yeah.
At this point, he just has to be as cost efficient as possible.
Or, you know, right now, if he could have made missile turrets in a location between his national and 3rd, that would have been enough as well, right? So to hold that location.
Yeah.
He just needed some way to survive the counterattack from TaeJa because economically, he was like, I mean, TaeJa probably
at the end of the game, 74 harvesters to 33. I'm still
with like 5 bases to
5 bases,
right?
Yeah, in like, remember that initial engagement that was great for Neeb. Remember when TaeJa was attacking and then Neeb had all his tanks, demolished TaeJa's army. That situation, and he has that base at the bottom left. That situation where, as a Terran or as any player, if you ever get far ahead, you start thinking about, okay, how can I lose this game?
And TaeJa played a brilliant idea to get back into it.
And Neeb, imagine if he scans the main.
Yeah.
Anytime whatsoever. Scouts the air transition, automatically puts down 2 starports of his own. His economy is fantastic.
He can outproduce Vikings.
Exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
So, very tough loss for Neeb, but that means TaeJa is going to advance to WCS America Premier League Season 2 with a 2-0 over Neeb. Congrats to him. Coming up next, guys, it's the losers match. We're going to have Hello Kitty versus Maker. Stay tuned. More WCS coming your way.